Aloha everyone and welcome back. This is Marissa Indigo with your autumn equinox kind of little energy report update, share, visual support for you all at this time. So thank you so much for tuning in. I want to offer you a warm welcome and happy autumn to those of us in the northern hemisphere of our beautiful jewel planet Gaia. The equinox is official depending on the report between maybe 5:55 p.m. to 6:05 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can adjust for your time. So we're definitely in it today. And it is at 0 degrees of Libra. And the 0 degree point is a very important degree point in astrology. And what I see and have been receiving is instead of a lot of specific imagery or themes, it has been so broad because the energy is so massive. So if you imagine that 0 degree, like becoming a portal, a doorway, just a massive opening into infinity for so much to pour through. And so many are having just these incredible experiences. You can really feel the higher light, the higher realm frequencies. All we have to do is reach out and feel them, and they're all around. And conversely, there are also those who are kind of being jolted into a new phase, a new level of commitment on the journey. So for those who have been consistent thus far in the ascension process and doing the deep inner work and not running, or doing the best we can to consciously not run, because we've always got more unconscious or subconscious programming to be revealed up until a certain point. So those who have been more diligent or open to shifting themselves, open to taking accountability and responsibility despite the fear or any of the other stuff, they're going to have an easier time this final quarter of the year. It's still going to be rigorous for everyone because the light is pouring in at such a rate that it is going to really create some powerful ripple effects, which we've already been seeing with the changing of the guard, all of these things happening. But for those who have kind of, for lack of better phrasing, like maybe been in denial, or it has just felt like too much to see, or haven't had the energy to feel like they could carry on, it's getting more intense. There's certainly an element of pressure here. And again, we're drawn to that imagery of the coal. Pressure on the coal deep in the dark, and the heat of the earth makes the diamonds. So depending on your level of practice and lifestyle, it could be just an amazing time feeling all the new stuff coming forth. And it could also be highly pressurized where you're witnessing a lot of what is no longer aligned, and it can be overwhelming. It can be a lot to deal with. So I did see a few more specific ways of trying to describe this energy. I get this visual that it's almost as if we are getting pushed through a screen and broken up into just a million little particles. And as we're going through this screen, it's like a high frequency screening process. Like, hey, we're going to, from a kind of an anatomical or atomic surgery level point of view, dissect and look at everything within your reality and your being, and all of the baggage or the old programs or old belief systems must stay behind in order to go through the gate. So there's this image of us being pushed through this screen, which can feel that pressurized component where we're seeing all of these things that are not aligned. There's also an image of we are literally at the gates. We are at the gates of New Earth. We have anchored in, and now there's just a few more steps, practices, just being mindful, really owning the old beliefs, and that we're really ready. We're not going to drag them around anymore. And that can sometimes involve absolving ourselves of any of these programs of having to suffer, being a burden, self-neglect. It's essentially, where are we not giving ourselves the love and support that we require to fully feel that we are just so alive and thriving and abundant in order to support others. What's going on in the internal will be magnified now so intensely on the external. And so I do have quite a few people in my realm, personal and professional, who are having health issues right now because it has been difficult in the past for their human to want to look at the stories or the pain different things that are stored in the body. Now, the body has memory, right? We've talked about this. The issues are in the tissues. And I have shared several really raw, vulnerable videos on this platform with you all to support you about the body being the final frontier for us to enter new earth. And it's a process. Of course, just living with an open heart as best we can and embracing life, embracing ourselves, embracing the experience in the universe from a place of innocence and trust. That's how we enter the gates. And some still have a lot of fear. So another message that came through very strongly that I wanted to share, and just ask all of you to please share that message with anyone in your realm who is having a hard time right now. It's about to get really good, guys. So just don't give up. Don't give up, because a lot of people have been going through so much their whole lives already, trying to, get out of the matrix system, taking so many hits. And then we've had these last few years, which have been a huge, expediting process of a lot of revelation. And at this point, with all the weather stuff and so much going on globally, it's really starting to look apocalyptic now, for those, who have that lens. But we have to remember that apocalypse means the great reveal. It means a revelation, a clear seeing, a discernment, so that we can choose. So we're no longer under a spell. We have the option of choice. I've just really guided to share with people, don't give up yet, because you haven't even seen, you have no idea how good it's going to be, and we're right around the corner from it. So if you could just share that message of inspiration and have people hang on. The other thing is that many people that are struggling right now are unconsciously still kind of, dragging these sacks of baggage around. And so their life has been pretty dense, pretty heavy, not feeling very free to be who they are. And there are so many layers to this. It's all the inside work. We are responsible for freeing ourselves and living authentically. And for those of us who have family, we've been partnered for a few years, and all of a sudden we're finding out who we really are. This can be challenging, of course, to start to be really clear about who you are and what you need. But that's the whole magic of this, is that we can start to communicate authentically, express authentically, all with love. And the people in our world, if they're meant to stay with us, then they're going to work with us. We are going to work together as a team, that it is all a mandala of living, active, breathing parts that are independent and have their own needs and ways of functioning and what works best for their energy and all these intricate details of being in the body here. So we have the separate and then the coming together. So all of that can be honored in the right kind of aligned, conscious, communicated light system. So with all of this information, just want to invite you to take a breath here and listen to this beautiful Tibetan bowl. Just take a breath, listen to the sound, let it resound through you, just as kind of a clearing. Sound healing can be really beneficial right now, or listening to solfeggio frequencies. There's a lot of great things available, even on YouTube. But I just wanted to provide this as a little tune-up on the equinox, just listening to this a few times here, and just letting the sound move you before we carry on. The other piece that came through very strongly as the only real means of a measurement for us, because the energy is so massive with this 0 degree point. Libra is about relationships and balancing. So the equinox is the great balancer, right? Equal night and day, equal light and dark. And that's where that process comes through, being pushed through that screen, is that anything that is not of your highest alignment and light is going to come up for review for you to be like, I'm over it. I'm going to leave that behind, and then take up a practice to support you in purging the subconscious that way, whether it's working with specialists, doing the Tai Chi Gong practice. I'm going to leave the affiliate link in the comments for you guys. This is my affiliate link. You can sign up and learn all the exercises and do the 45-day challenge with Master Lama Rasaji for free. And if you decide to go on and want to be part of the community and different layers of the memberships, then I get a little commission for that. But anyway, committing to an energy practice like that supports you in really blooming into actually understanding from a molecular level of your being and a very sacred higher self I am levels of being, of self-awareness, that we are energy beings. It makes these processes easier because we're not wrestling with the ego. We're not wrestling with the personality and all of these kind of more false, expired versions of ourselves. So the other visual or key code that was communicated to me with Libra and these balancing scales, the goddess Mot, Mother Mot, is here to support us in weighing out as we go through that screen and we're seeing all these things, not to get in the head about it and get overwhelmed and go human about it and try to linearly figure out how to have the solutions. We have to be in co-creative partnership with the universe. But Mott is here to help you weigh the frequencies, because you cannot think your way through this anymore. We exist in the new light. The new paradigm is a feeler paradigm. So you can't linearly ABC your way into quantum solution. It doesn't work like that. You've got to actually go quantum. So Mott is here with her scales. And everything that comes up in your life, you can, if you're not sure about it, and again, the mind, wants to try to go all these different ways, just stop that whole process and put the thing on the scales and weigh it with the feather. If it's light, you keep it. If it's not, then you need to do a ritual, whatever it is, start doing a list, whatever. You can do linear processes to purge yourself of something. You can do a burn ritual. I'm releasing myself of da-da-da-da-da. I call in da-da-da-da-da. Like, there's so many wonderful rituals you can do, and we're really getting into the time for that now as we start to get into autumn and winter in the north, and it gets darker. More of an internal time of rewrites. So the goddess Mother Mot is here to support that process for you as a ritual to kind of start to measure things out. This can be all the pieces of your reality. What goes, what stays. I'm at the gate and I want to go into the gate and cross the bridge in my life. So that's the process. Heart open and releasing the baggage. Just we've got to release it, because the more we hold on, it's going to continue to make people physically ill. It gets lodged in parts of the body, and we're not made. We are a crystalline light plasma liquid crystal matrix in our body. We are not made to hold these kinds of programs. That's what causes densification and illness. So with the Libra component, then the other key code that came in, this is the big word that I received. So all I got was that screen, the visual of the screen, and us getting pushed through, working with people in the community and starting to see these patterns of those who were afraid to let go, which is totally normal and it's okay, but you can do it. You're made for this. Remember that you're made for this. The other piece was the term relational. And Libra can be a lot about relationships and communication and external existing and relating with others. So how do you relate to literally everything in your reality? This will also support you with that kind of screening process. How do you relate to food? How do you relate to your body? How do you relate to yourself and your internal dialogue and your self-care? Are you treating yourself like you would your best friend or a child that has, that needs some nourishing or nurturing? How are your relationships with others? Are they balanced? Are they open where you can communicate? What about your environment in your home? Like, it's really starting to look at, is there balance here? This is the great balancer. So for those of us who have kind of just been going along and existing, there may be a lot coming up for review. But rather than be overwhelmed, be grateful that you can see. And there's this process of being in relationship with your I am. What's your relationship with your higher self? What's your relationship with your soul? with the divine or with the universe or source, however you like to define it, or great spirit. It's time to acknowledge we don't walk alone. If we choose that, it's not exactly a fun and easy or authentic route. Fully disconnecting ourselves from the forces of creation isn't exactly preferential. I hope this is supportive. These are just the visuals that have come through and what I'm witnessing in the collectives. We definitely have kind of a little bit of a polarity going on with people that are really on cloud nine and having these amazing experiences because they've been lightening themselves all year. And then some are kind of waiting until it's enforced energetically upon us with these cosmic happenings. But I will say it's a really, really good idea to start applying now. We are getting into the final quarter of 2022. And remember that the December winter solstice is 10 years from 2012, 10 years from when our planet entered the photon belt, 10 years that we have started to be just blasted with influxes of photonic light, along with the solar activity ramping up. So we have come a long way. If you look at where you were and who you were 10 years ago and imagined your body from 10 years ago, there's no way that it would be able to thrive with these energies now. So there has been a natural and consistent progression, increasing of our light quotient, but it takes us also being willing to support the process without resistance, and it can come up. But really being honest with ourselves and trusting and holding that love. And if you are not feeling that love, it's a practice to a process to connect and to create that foundation. But the Tai Chi Gong is an amazing way to do that because this is a practice of connecting with the divine energies that appear in nature, all throughout nature, that are in our body, and also connecting very viscerally with Source. So it's a powerful way to purge the subconscious without actually having to be like, oh yeah, I'm purging my subconscious, because that can bring up all kinds of stuff that makes it tricky to do so when you kind of come at it directly like that. You have to let it float up. The subconscious has a way of functioning. It has to bubble up one program at a time so that we don't have psychosis or enormous amounts of stress. So it's a gentle and a loving process as a lifestyle practice, which is why I really always, suggest the Tai Chi Gong. I also just wanted to share that I have a wonderful 4-part deep dive immersive series into Sophia and the goddess and the divine feminine rising, divine mother, temple arts, priestess kind of deep mystery training that I just wrapped up. This was a 4-day series. It was absolutely amazing. I was guided to produce the content and host it live in time for the Equinox. That is now up on the Mystery School site if you're interested in that. And then I also still have Remembering Solaria to support you kind of learning how to work with the cosmic space weather and how to track it and starting to see the patterns because this affects our psychology, our physical body, our energy body, the light body, and our functioning and all of this. As we're going more quantum. I mean, we're doing it regardless of whether you're consciously trying to do it. It's happening. So if we do it with consciousness, it can actually become easier and pleasurable and more fun. And we can educate others in it as well as to what is actually happening here because this is a global ride. We're doing it all together. So I've kept that course on demand highly discounted at only $33, also on the Mystery School site. So I appreciate your support on that if you're interested in going deeper and learning and having fun. And I thank you so much for being here and just want to wish you an amazing Equinox experience. Know that you have all of the support. You can go back and listen to the Aurora activation. That is the energetic that is here for us every day. The Auroras are here to remind us, hey, you have the ability as a creator being here to recreate all the time. So it's all about the mind and linking the mind with the heart and the I am. So I thank you again for being here and wish you a beautiful time. And I will see you soon. So much love and aloha.